Preparing for the Eucharist, I first put on a white robe called an alb. The other robes are normally laid out, ready for the priest, and they are put in the shape of two Greek letters, the Alpha and the Omega. Alpha is the first letter and Omega the last letter, symbolizing that Jesus is the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Round my neck I put the stole, which is a sign of Christ's authority. It's like a yoke over my shoulders, where I am now under the control and command of Christ, as I am to represent Christ in the service. Over the stole I put my chasuble, and then I am ready to take the service. Okay? Before entering church,
again.
Like most Christians, a priest will bow at the altar to symbolize the fact that Jesus is represented on the altar and Jesus is my authority, and I bow before him. Some people will also genuflect towards the aumbry in the corner of the church. That is where we keep bread and wine that we have already blessed, already consecrated, which again symbolizes the presence of Jesus here. And so people go on one knee, they genuflect before that, again to show Jesus' authority for them. The early part of any service is normally taken from somewhere a little further forward than the altar, often actually done from the lectern, which is here. The lectern is where we focus on the Word of God, the Bible, and this is the place where we read the Bible from. The first half of the service focuses on that. During what we call the ministry of the Word, when we focus on the Bible, we will read the Gospel. The Gospel we will actually take to the middle of the church. It's the central part, one of the central parts of the service. And we want to show that the gospel belongs in the middle of all the people. So we have a gospel procession. So we read the gospel from the middle of the church. We often hold the gospel up high as a symbol, a mark of our respect for the gospel, the stories about Jesus himself. And many priests, when they have read the gospel, will kiss the book, again as a sign that this is for us one of the great central parts of life, to be able to read the gospel in church. We then return the gospel book to the altar. After the reading of the gospel, there may be a sermon when we actually reflect on what the gospel means.